안녕하세요. 제 이름은 공세린입니다. 어렸을 때부터 인기가 조금 많았던 편이었던 것 같아요. 제 매력 포인트는 밝은 에너지, 타고난 피부, 러블리한 입술입니다. 다양한 시도하는 걸 즐기는 편인 것 같아요. 승부욕도 조금 있고 이쁜 것도 너무 좋아해서 요즘 제 취미는 꽃꽂이입니다. 솔로족답게 자신감이 높고 목표가 뚜렷한 매력적인 사람을 만나고 싶어서 나왔습니다. 한국도는 제가 제일 많이 가지 않을까요? Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a makeup look from Singles Inferno, and it's not going to be a copycat makeup, but it's going to be more of an overall general makeup tutorial on how Singles Inferno girls probably did their makeup. A lot of people actually think that the girls in Singles Inferno wear a lot of glowy cushions, but because it's mostly filmed in the summer and they're on an island and it's very hot, I would almost bet that they use a semi-matte or a satin type cushion or even a matte cushion and then go in with highlighter or a glow bomb to create that glow. So it's more of a basic Korean makeup style with a little bit of points here and there that I noticed from watching Singles Inferno. Let's go. First, we're going to use a toner to just cool down our face and wipe off all the dust. We're going to go in with the Glow Invisible Lyocell pads and the Round Lab Soybean Panthenol toner. This is a very lightweight but kind of milky toner that's going to help nourish our skin. The Round Lab Soybean Panthenol toner is actually a cream type toner, which is why it has more of a milky consistency. It's going to be more nourishing, especially when you're going to do a satin or a matte type cushion. If you're in areas with hot weather, like for me, I'm from LA, so in the summer it gets really hot. I like putting these toner pads on before makeup because even if you don't refrigerate the toner, using cotton pads like this will help lower your overall skin temperature and prep your base really well for makeup. When you go to K-Idol makeup shops, they'll actually do toner pads for two different reasons. Mostly in the winter, they'll do it because your skin is really dry. They need to nourish your skin before. And if you go in the summer, it'll be because it's too hot outside, so they want to lower your overall skin temperature before they go in with your base makeup. We're going to fully adhere onto your face and wait around 5 to 10 minutes. Now that 5 to 10 minutes is over, we're going to remove our cotton pads, and we're actually just going to use the same cotton pads to wipe over our entire face in the direction of our facial hairs. You want to make sure you get all the way to the outer sides of your face and in the little crevices. Next, we're going to go in with the Have Blue Gel Cream. And the reason why I really like this is because it's almost like a hyaluronic acid, but a thicker version. It doesn't feel super lightweight, but it also doesn't feel too thick. It just kind of feels like a hyaluronic acid amplified by times 10. I feel like if you put this in the fridge and use it in the summer or when it's a little bit hotter outside, it'll really be perfect. And this cream is a cream that recently won #1 on All of Young Korea rankings as well. But for this step, you really want to make sure that you rub it in all the way and you tap it in all the way so that your skin fully absorbs it and ultimately gets all the hydration. How to know you fully applied it is when you touch your skin, it should actually just feel like your skin and it should not have any skincare residue whatsoever. Then we're gonna go in with the Glow Koi Seed Sunscreen in SPF 50. I really like this sunscreen because the applicator is really unique and it's more of like a serum-like formula. It's a super lightweight sunscreen and it helps when you apply makeup. It almost feels like a super sheer layer. It doesn't have any thick feeling, and because it's also not a cream type formula, I think it goes on even better under makeup. I just finished my entire base prep combo, and honestly, it just looks like I did a really good layer of skincare. Like, you can't even tell that I put on sunscreen. Because we're going in with a thicker cushion formula today, the base can actually break a lot faster. So we're gonna go in with the Have Blue Makeup Pro Ecto Namu Water Mist. We're going to spray it onto this mist. Drench this puff. Then we're just going to tap in all of our skincare. And this is gonna help all of your skin cells just kind of settle in and be prepped for the base. I think it honestly makes a big difference doing the mist and not doing the mist. So I highly recommend, if you're having trouble with your base flaking up in the middle of the day, you add in this step to prep your skin. Now that we are done with the entire skincare and base prep process, we're going to go in with the SEM cushion. This is clear beige and it contains SPF 50. This is actually a higher coverage cushion. I don't believe this one has any skincare in it. And also the SEM is really known for really good concealers. So I got this cushion to test out their base coverage. Already that acne hyperpigmentation mark that was there faded most of the way through. I really do think this is a cushion that I would bring to Singles Inferno just because it has like a radiance, but it's not super insanely glowy. I don't think it's gonna break down that fast, and it has a really good amount of coverage, so it's easy to do your makeup a little bit quicker in the morning. I would say the only thing for this cushion is you really need to make sure that you prep your skin properly. You want to make sure that when you're doing a cushion, you're not rubbing too much and you're tapping it in, and you always want to make sure that your wrist is stationary and you're moving your arm to tap in the cushion. I found that in the areas where I have a lot of pores, it also helps to tap in a little bit stronger and leave in a little bit more time for the cushion to sink through. You want to always do the larger areas of your face first. Then as you get to the eye area where there's a lot more creases, you want to just use the leftover amount on the puff and lightly tap through. I noticed on TikTok that a lot of people are finding a lot of whitening products on Singles Inferno and on their vanity, so I used a cushion that was slightly brighter than my actual skin tone. These areas are also areas that get a lot of darkening, so you do want to make sure that you go in one more time and make sure you have fully covered that area. Now that we fully went in with the cushion to even out the tone, we're gonna go in with a lighter concealer to highlight and create inner dimension in the center parts of my face. I'm gonna go in with the Have Blue Penta Berry Panthenol Repair Concealer in shade 13. Normally this is a very light shade, but take into consideration that I used a shade lighter for my cushion and the inner dimension has to be a lot lighter than that. We're going to go in and spray the puff one more time. We're also going to spray our concealer brush. This is the Artist 10 brush. And we're also going to spray a little bit here to just loosen up the bristles and moisturize it enough for the concealer, because usually concealers are dry and thick. There aren't many brands that have this type of shade 13 concealer, so this is actually known to be a stage concealer that a lot of idols wear. We're going to use it on mostly the center parts of my face like that and go in with the puff and spread it out. Make sure you're doing section by section. Do you see that this part is lighter in the center and it has a lot more dimension now because it kind of looks like a highlighter. Another reason why we're prepping it with this light of a highlighter is because a lot of the blushes that they use on Singles Inferno, such as Isian or even last season, it was more of a super light pink to the point where you can't really even see it on camera. But for that to even show on your skin, you do need to prep your skin a little bit more with that dimension and highlight contrast. You really don't want to go far out because then it's going to start looking like your face is bigger than it actually is. You only want to do it until before your eye ends. And when you tap, you also just want to tap in place so that it stays where it is and it doesn't make your face look more bloated. If you do have a darker skin tone than me, the formula you can use is just a shade lighter in foundation than your normal shade range, then a shade lighter than that for this inner concealer part. Another place you want to do is this chin area and a little bit of the middle of the forehead. For those of you guys who have a lot of acne on your cheek areas, I actually brought this concealer just to recommend it to you. It's the Espod Neutral Green Concealer, and this one actually has a little bit of green mixed into a beige. So it's not too green like this Daisy color corrector palette. It's a liquid form and it's slightly toned with green. If you don't want to mix this type of super green shade into your normal foundation shade, you can just use this. Or if you need a tone darker, you can mix in your normal foundation shade with this concealer to shade match, but the undertone will still be green. So ultimately, it'll help cancel out that redness. I honestly think because Singles Inferno, it's probably very hot and sweaty, and my face could end up becoming more red because of the temperature increase. If that's normally you, I would recommend bringing this type of green neutral concealer so that you could just lay it under your base so that even if the redness does come up, this cancels it out a little bit more. Next, I'm going to go in with the Pernell shade 19 powder and the Oki brush. This one is a spot powder brush. We're just going to apply a little bit of the powder here, tap off the excess, and use this to just matte out the brow area so that we can go in and powder evenly. Overall, this is a more satin type cushion with a little bit of radiance, so I don't need to powder my entire face, but you do need to make sure you powder your brows and your eyelid because that's where powder is going to go on top of and really create that pigmentation. I'm going to go in with the Clio Kill Brow Shaping Powder Brow. We're going to use these two shades at the bottom, and this is just going to help fill in any spots. Normally, I like using this more towards the end because I do already have a lot of my brows at the front. As you do your brows, you always want to make sure that you're using the screw brush end to lighten it out as you go, or else it's gonna look too thick and too unnatural in some places and natural in others. Think of this as the evening out of this. Then we're gonna go in with this Chipe eyebrow brush in Latte Brown. It's a super thin eyebrow pencil that matches the bleached brow look, and I love it because it's super compact. So it could honestly fit in your bag and help you retouch any type of makeup look. I finished shaping the brows and filling them in. I did a little bit of a darker look because it seemed like a lot of their brows were filled in mostly all the way. And I went for a slightly more semi-arch type of look because that was the brow that a lot of them leaned towards. We're gonna use the Kill Cover Airy Fit Concealer, and this has pretty good fixing power. So we're gonna just use this as the applicator to clean up our brows, but I'm gonna actually remove all the excess. So when you keep rolling it on your skin like this, it's gonna remove a lot of the excess. When you can just see one layer of concealer get on your skin, that's when you know that you have the perfect amount. Then you're just gonna swipe it through at the top and the places that need a little bit more concealing. We're gonna do one brow at a time. Then we're gonna go in with the same sponge from before and just tap it in exactly in place. This concealer actually has really good fixing power, so just doing that once and lightly tapping it on is just gonna fix it all into place. You don't need to do anything crazy for this, so I highly recommend it for beginners. This is a super nice tip because you don't even need like an extra brush for this, and it really helps get every single crease perfectly. If you ever need more concealer, you can always just scoop up the excess from your hand and just apply a little bit more. Then we're gonna go in with the Chipe brush one more time, and any places that might have been concealed a little bit too much, we're just gonna fill in a little bit. Now that we're done with the brows, now it's time for the eyeshadow. A lot of times on Singles Inferno, I noticed that the color of eyeshadow that they used was a little bit more natural, but they just made sure that their eyeliner and their mascara was really on point, and that just helps accentuate their eyes a little bit more. But the actual color was very lovely, natural, and if they're cool tone, they did cool tone. If they're warm tone, they did warm tone. So today we're gonna go for more of a peachy pink. This is the Clio Pro Eye Palette in Shopping Cheese 11. We're gonna go in with this peach color and this pink. Both are very matte colors, and you're just gonna apply it on your entire eyelid. This is the Studio 17 eyeshadow brush in 7-Eleven. Then we're gonna go in with a little bit more of a pink and just use the same color and layer this pink on one more time. Then with this peach and this slightly shimmer of a peach, we're gonna go in and we're gonna do our under eye and just set the base for that. Next, we're gonna create our Aegyo. We're gonna go in with the Aegyo Step Palette, and this is honestly everything that you need to create your Aegyo. But we're gonna go in with a little bit of concealer to brighten the middle of our Aegyo. For this step, I'm gonna use the Hubble 255 brush. We're gonna get a little bit, tap off the excess, make sure you have just the right amount. Smile, and you're gonna see the middle part gets a lot more voluptuous. That's the part where you're going to put on the concealer. You're gonna see that this part has a little bit more dimension than this part. You're just gonna do the same thing for the other eye. This palette is really unique because it has a glitter, a cream type concealer, and 2 shadow powder types. Then we're gonna go in with the Philly Millie 861 brush and tap into this brown, and this brown is gonna help create that shadow. So you're just gonna smile with your eyes one more time and trace it. A lot of the girls on Singles Inferno actually really emphasize their Aegyo star more than anything, and you can tell that almost all of them drew it on. But to really make this emphasized, you actually want to draw it out and create a shadow all the way up to here, because that's what your eyeliner is going to go. So you just want to make your eyes look bigger while you do your Aegyo star. But when you do it at the end, make sure you just do it with leftover product and you don't add more product. The main part where you add product should just be in the middle where the shadow normally lies. You can always go back in with the concealer brush from before and just make the line more precise and lighten out the edges to make it look a little bit more natural but still defined. Next, we're going to use the Philly Millie 538 brush and the Glow Anime eyeshadow palette. This is my favorite palette recently. We're going to go in with this pink and this slightly champagne-like glitter, and just put it over the concealer. Same thing for here. I feel like I can't do my eye makeup without this palette because the shimmers go on so seamlessly. I feel like a lot of the K-beauty palettes, when you have the palette for a while, it actually gets a lot like harder and stiff, and the glitter is very hard to move around, but this is like flawless shimmer pearl, and the consistency is powder, but it's so like creamy on your skin and it doesn't crease. Even the more matter shades here have a tiny bit of shimmer in it, and it really stands out from the other glitter palettes that are on the market. Now we're going to do our eyeliner. Everyone did their eyeliner on Singles Inferno, and I'm sure they used an easier way, but to make it look cleaner for this specific tutorial, we're going to use a liquid liner and a gel liner and 2 brushes. One has a more rectangular tip to line our tear line, and to draw the wing, it has a little bit more of a rounded tip. I'm gonna use a palette and put on a little bit of the liquid liner here. Then you're gonna get the more rectangular like brush, tap it on. You don't want to tap it on at an angle, you want to tap it on directly. You want to gently curl the lashes. Then you're just gonna line your tear line by inching your way out. This is the tear line that is lined, and this is the tear line that is not lined. Normally, if your double eyelid is really thin, you might not want to do this step and you just want to go straight to the wing. But if you do have double eyelids like me, or you have monolids that you kind of want to accentuate a little bit more, it's a really nice idea to curl your lashes and then tear your waterline. For people with eyes like me, it'll actually help reshape your eyes and also make it a little bit more defined and look bigger. This is Pro 8 Liquid Define Liner made in Italy in shade dark brown, and this is the Pro 8 Gel Liner made in Korea. And I really like this one more than the other Western formulations because this gel formula literally melts, and when you put it on, it's like seamless. It looks like paint. But other ones are a lot thicker and it doesn't melt like that. It's a lot more of a creamy gel formula. It really helps to have a pointed Q-tip like this. Just clean it up as you go. For this eyeliner part, it's going to be like a winged eyeliner, but think of it like you're just extending the natural shadow at the end of your eye, right where your tear line ends. As you draw your liner, we're gonna go in with the Daisy Pro Concealer Palette and the same concealer that you actually used before. And we're gonna use this middle shade over here and clean up any part of the liner you don't want. If you did end up using any concealer at all, you just want to make sure you go back in with your eyeshadow and extend it to on top of the concealer and all the way until your eyeliner ends. Now that our eyeliner is finished, we're going to curl it one more time and then go in with our fake lashes. Today we're going to go in with the deep yellow 10mm thick 1-point lashes from Gampa. To be honest, I really doubt the girls on Singles Inferno at the actual show put on these lashes every single day, but for the interview they definitely put it on, so we're just gonna mix both. Just for that hot girl defined eye Singles Inferno look, we're going to go in with the 10mm. Usually idols use the 11mm, and if you want a natural daily look, you use a 9mm. So we're just gonna get right in the middle and get the 10mm today. We're going to get the Philly Millie Black Lash Adhesive Glue. This is actually a fake lashes tweezer that Tyne Sim from Kits. She's a K-idol makeup artist. She specifically made this in collaboration with Philly Millie. We're gonna start from the end. You want to grab each fake lashes like a triangle with a tweezer. Then you want to dip it into the glue just a little bit at the end to cover it. Wait a couple seconds. Then you want to apply it in between your lashes. You always want to put one on and then just adjust it from there and then lift it up. So it's gonna look like this when it's all the way up, and you're just gonna continue doing that. Now that we have finished putting on our false lashes, we're gonna go in with mascara, but today we're gonna use a little bit more of a moody color, and so this one is the Etude Curl Fix in brown, shade 2, and this is the Cosmere Perfect Setting Mascara Waterproof Long and Curl in shade Rosy Brown, shade 3, and these are going to help make the black lashes a little bit lighter and fit the overall lovely mood. A lot of actors will actually use this color when black is too dark or too impactful. We're gonna use this as the first layer. Then you want to get 2 sticks and use a lighter and just light one side. This is actually a really crucial step when you are doing your fake lashes, because once you do individual lashes, you really can't just get like an eyelash curler and curl it again. So this is gonna help fix it and curl it up even more. You wanna do it on lower heat and repeat the step a couple times. You also wanna make sure you go section by section. Then we're gonna go in with the Cool Snoring Mascara in Rosy Brown and go up. The Cool Snoring Mascara is a little bit thicker than the Etchy Curl Fix, which is why you go in with that one in just certain areas that need a little bit more volume. And for any parts where the mascara is a little bit too clumped up, you're actually just gonna get your rounded tweezers and heat it up a little bit. Then you're gonna clamp it together. Now that we are done with the top lashes, we're gonna go in with the Giverny 밀착 Sensitive Mascara Long Lash. And we're just gonna do a little bit at the bottom. Compared to the top, it's really not gonna look like much, but it just helps even out the proportions a little bit more. Then we're gonna go in with the shading. So first we're gonna do the nose shading with the dual contour stick from Art Class. You're gonna do this part first. You're just gonna draw on the contour nose. We're gonna focus mostly on building up this side of the nose. We're gonna get the Philly Millie brush 812 and just blend it out. Using this type of smaller brush is going to help you with precision instead of just using a sponge. And when you think that there's too much, you could just use a sponge to tap off the product. Now that our nose bridge has been created, we're going to go in with the powder contour for the outside of our face. We're just going to use both of these. This is the Roman Oat Gray, and I'm just going to use it on the outer. Now that we're done with the shading, we're gonna go in with the blush. We're going to use these more pale pink blushes. This one is naming Yummy. This is Tinto Blur Finish Mary Orwell. We're gonna get this Flick Multi Blush Brush and mix in both of these colors as the base and just apply it largely around the cheek area. If you smile, you're gonna see that there's a flatter area. That's exactly where you're going to put on the blush for a little bit of a more cuter, lovely look today. These are the colors that a lot of Singles Inferno's girls lean towards. I think Shein from the last season also used kind of like a more lavender shade. I think another alternative is the Roman Odie Milk, but they use really pale pink, lovely blushes. Okay, we're gonna mix these two. I honestly recommend Tinto for more warm tones and Naming for more cool tones, but I'm just gonna mix it in today because we also mixed in the eyeshadow with both warm and cool. I'm putting in a little bit on the chin area and a little bit in the center of the nose. And to help frame your face a little bit, you can also go up your cheekbone with the blush and connect it to the contour that you put on the side. I'm gonna go in a little bit more with this pink in the middle. Next, we want to create a little bit of that artificial glow with the highlighter. We're going to go in with the Wake Make Glow Contouring Highlight Palette in Cool Glow, and this is kind of like a Dior dupe. So we're going to go in with the pink shade right here and a little bit of the lavender, and we're going to layer it on top near this end cheekbone area. Think of it like before your eyeliner ends until like the middle of your pupil is where you're going to put the highlighter. And get a little bit of the white highlighter. That's going to go in the beginning to help connect to your blush. And it's going to help create this natural glow, but have that coverage because you put on like a semi-matte / matte cushion. When you actually look at my face in person, my face looks really powdered and matte, but actually on camera, it looks a little bit more glowy on the cheek area. So that's what the highlighter is going to do. You're going to get a highlighting brush and also highlight a little bit of the nose with the champagne color and mix it with the white a little bit. For our lens today, we're going to use the Midnight Moon Brown. It's a little bit more of a natural enlarging brown lens. This is really going to help make your eyes look a lot more dolly, and I honestly highly recommend when you go on dates because it's the perfect enlarging, but it's also a brown, so it's kind of just going to fit in seamlessly and look like your eye, but it's not really your eye. Next, we have the lips, so I'm going to go in with this AOU Glowy Ribbon Balm Lip. We're gonna go in with the Oki brush, get a little bit of this, This is the AOU Glowy Tint Balm in a ribbon balm, and it's the perfect amount of color. It almost just looks like your lips and you just put on a lip balm. I'm gonna go in with the Tinto Blur Jelly Pumping Lip Tint in shade 771. We're gonna put a little bit onto this palette again and use this as a lip topper. Then there's a little bit of hyperpigmentation here that we did not cover yet. So now that we're done with most of our entire look, we're gonna go in with these two colors. This is literally just like an art paintbrush, and it's very loose and flimsy, but this pot type concealer is actually pretty dry. So we're going to get this and just tap it on. Then you're gonna use the puff from before and just tap out the outer edges in that specific area. Then last but not least, we're gonna go in with the Cosmere Whitening Dress Tone-Up Cream, and this you're also going to put on the palette. I would say around 2 pumps is enough, but it seemed like from what I saw on TikTok, almost all the girls were using this type of tone-up cream or spray. This whitening dress cream is actually the OG first tone-up cream that has been in Korea, and this is going to help naturally shade match your neck and the rest of your body to your foundation. You can also always mix this tone-up cream in with your foundation shade or anything that's a little bit darker than your shade. You can also always mix this in with a different foundation or base product to create your own shade if it is too light for you. Overall, I really hope that helped. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, and I'll see you guys in my next video. 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 공세린입니다. 어렸을 때부터 인기가 조금 많았던 편이었던 것 같아요. 제 매력 포인트는 밝은 에너지, 타고난 피부, 러블리한 입술입니다. 다양한 시도하는 걸 즐기는 편인 것 같아요. 승부욕도 조금 있고 이쁜 것도 너무 좋아해서 요즘 제 취미는 꽃꽂이입니다. 솔로쭉답게 자신감이 높고 목표가 뚜렷한 매력적인 사람을 만나고 싶어서 나왔습니다. 청국도는 제가 제일 많이 가지 않을까요?